Hey, everybody, I don't know who's listening and who's not listening at this point in time, but as promised, we have our second annual Facebook Live virtual Talking Pools trade show event, and we have a great lineup for you today. We're going to start with Rob Estelle. He's going to talk with us a little bit about, well, Rob, why don't you tell us what you're going to talk with us about? Introduce yourself, tell everybody there who you are, what you do, and why you're here today, and get this show started.
Hello, everyone. Most of you know me, heard of me, whatever. My name is Rob Estelle. I own a family of companies here. I was in the pool business many years ago, back in the late 90s. I had a nice big pool route, about 1,200 pools we cleaned on a weekly basis. I sold that business and got into wholesale distribution, ruffled a bunch of feathers in that business, sold that business. And now the family of business we have was we have the poolpros.com website. We have Insurance by Rob website. We have the Exam Pros website, and then Contractor book rentals, which we won't really talk about that much there. But I've been in the business many years. I'm a licensed insurance broker, licensed business broker, licensed pool contractor, continuing education provider here in Florida. I help with providing the creation of the AST course for the CPO. And do a lot of consulting with some of the clients and stuff like that that are in the pool business. And I'm always here to help people out. You know, that's the biggest thing that people say about me, I guess. I always answer my phone the best that I can and give a lot of free advice to everybody. So here's what we do here. The first company that I've had rolling here is the poolpros.com. And what we do here is we help people buy and sell pool routes. I'm basically a broker. The way that it works, if you want to sell your route or something like that, some more information that we have here. It's we give you accurate valuations. So what some people say, oh, well, the going rate is 12 times. Not really. You know, I've sold pools for 20 times, 18 times, 24 times the monthly gross. All depends what you're getting. You know, there's different ways to sell. We can sell just the accounts. We can sell the routes, you know, maybe with a truck or this and that, or we can sell a whole business with a building, with trucks, employees, different revenue streams and stuff like that. We've done all that stuff. I've sold over 700 pool routes in my lifetime here. We're somewhat selective. So when someone calls me and asks me about, hey, Rob, I want to sell my route, I ask you a couple of questions because I don't want to deal with the drama mamas with, hey, I want to sell my pool in 5 days. I want to get 6 times for it. I want to do 4 times for it. There's a fire sale. You know, there's a going rate typically for pool routes. And if you're asking for half the price, there's usually a problem. You know, when people come to me, they know I have integrity. And I don't want to sell you just to sell a route. This isn't my only revenue stream. So I just want to be able to help people out and sell a good business to good people. You know what I mean? So that's what we do here. So we have accurate valuations. We present any and all offers. So if someone says, hey, you have a route that's for $100,000, I want to offer $90,000. I put together the offer, I present it. Maybe the seller takes it, maybe the seller doesn't. Whatever they want to do. I don't set the price. That's price fixing. That's against the Sherman Antitrust Act, you know, from many years ago. We do a 10% commission. Have I changed my commission? Yeah, in situations we have. You know, to make a deal happen, you know, we're $1,000 apart, whatever. I'll take my commission down $1,000 to make it work. Always here to help people out. You know what I mean? We also do, if I'm listing your pool route and you come to me and say, Rob, I found the buyer. We're ready to go. The guy was really serious. You come to me, I'll cut my commission big time and we'll just facilitate the sale for you and make it easy for you. Not everybody will do that, you know. We do a lot of different technology through social media, websites, emails, text messaging, print media, trade shows like this, phone calls, people that I know, people that I meet that want to invest in the pool industry. They always ask me about different things, and I'm always trying to put deals together. And probably 85, 90% of the routes that I've sold have never hit the website. It's usually somebody calls me and says, Rob, I'm looking for, you know, 120 pools in Boca Raton. I said, I'll call you back in a couple hours. In a couple hours, we usually have a deal. That's the best thing for that. So also we can facilitate a fast transaction. I've done deals in, you know, less than 72 hours. I have a network of pool guys that I've known from the CPO course, from teaching that over many years, from owning the Pool Pros wholesale supply company. You know, thousands of pool guys would come to me. I have a network, a lot of people. There are licensing courses, continuing educations, a lot of inventory. With me and the agents I have working with me, you know, 50 plus years of real estate and business and pool industry. So if you speak to me or any of the other agents that I have working with me, Val or Larry or anybody else that does this stuff, Alan and stuff like that, we will we'll be able to help you out and everything out there. So there's some stuff here on the website that you can see. The website always, talks about the insurance, which is the next, line of business that we offer to people. We can look at it here on this thing. So Insurance by Rob is my next company where we do insurance for all types of businesses and contractors. So if you're not in the pool business, you're a general contractor or you're a restaurant or anything like that, we can sell you insurance like that. We have the carriers for that. I'll tell you right off the bat, we're not good for your car insurance. We're not good for your homeowner's insurance. That's not our line of business. You go to State Farm or Progressive or somebody like that, whatever. But if you want commercial auto, I could probably get you a commercial auto policy cheaper than or as cheap as your residential auto. It's very different with the coverages and stuff like that. So a lot less risk in a commercial vehicle for some of the carriers than regular auto insurance. We do commercial auto, commercial general liability. Everybody needs general liability insurance. If you're licensed or not, that covers all the general liability that you're doing as a business. Workers' compensation, this is what most people don't have. They're workers' comp exempt, and they use subcontractors that don't have workers' comp, whatever. But at least give us a call. We'll help you out with if you're in a situation, if I wrote you a policy or not. If you have an insurance question, we'll help you out. We'll put you in the right direction and make sure that you're covered properly. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes. We had a situation the other day. They were in this big group policy, and that most of these pool guys are using nowadays, and they had a pool pop out of the ground, and it wasn't covered because their that insurance doesn't cover the subcontractor. Subcontractor drained the pool, popped the pool out of the ground. $50,000 mistake. So they got to pay for this pool to be fixed, and their insurance didn't cover it because they weren't covered properly when they thought they were. And it's a shame. They're really good, a pool company here and everything. And I wish it would have turned out otherwise for them. And but now they're a client of ours and they're covered for all that kind of stuff. Their subcontractors weren't listed with this general policy and everything. So inland marine is another policy here that protects your tools on the job site. If your tools are in the back of the truck, they're covered by your commercial auto. If your hammerhead gets ripped off the back of the truck and stolen and stuff like that, your commercial auto will cover that. Make sure that you list that in your commercial auto policy. I've seen people say they want to cover their truck, but they don't cover their trailer. You have to let them know that you have a trailer also, so we can cover that. Because if not, you smash your trailer up, you have no coverage. A lot of people want the cheapest insurance. And when you give it to them, there's always a problem. You get what you pay for. And it's not like it's a lot more money. It might only be $50 more a year, and your trailer's covered. So any time you have an occurrence, and the marine protects the tools, everything on the job site. So if you're on the job site, you have a pump on the job site, or you're doing anything on the job site, drilling, cutting, this and that, and it gets stolen from the job site, it gets damaged, you have insurance for that. There's a deductible, but your mixers, your pumps, or anything like that, you could get taken off there. Then we got builder's risk insurance for all the builders or renovators. Let's say you go and put a bag of material, some concrete, some bags, or some plaster, tiles, coping at the job site, and all of a sudden it grows legs and walks away. It's builder's risk insurance. It's covered. You got to have a builder's risk insurance. We also have business interruption insurance from hurricanes, fires, other types of occurrences. You can get paid every month. You have an occurrence with a hurricane or a fire, whatever, you're shut down for, power outage for days or this and that. You can get paid for that. The only thing it excludes is pandemics like COVID, acts of terrorism, and always the exclusion is a war. An act of war excludes everything with insurance. The other thing that we have is the business owner's policy, or they call the BOP. This one covers puts all the different things together, so the carrier has a better way of bundling everything together to diversify the risk, so you can get a cheaper policy. So we can put general liability, commercial property. If you own the property or you're renting the property, it still would be available for this. The contents inside, business income, You know, let's say you have a business and an airplane lands on top of the building. You have business interruption, mold, forgery, electronic data theft, someone hacks you, the toilet backs up and destroys some things. There's coverage for all this. Personal effects, employee dishonesty, they're stealing something from you. You know, I saw a post, on Facebook the other day of people are out there going and saying, hey, someone stole this part. It's covered. You got to just cover the deductible and you get something for it. It's just a way of doing business. So
that's actually pretty cool. So what you're saying, anything stolen out of the back of a truck of any value, you can cover that.
Yeah. If it's stolen out of the back of the truck, that's covered under commercial auto.
Okay.
If it's stolen out of your building, that is going to be covered under the BOP or the commercial contents or the business insurance. So depending on the type of insurance, and once you have one insurance and you have a business, even if you operate out of the house, we can actually bundle a lot of things for you and save you money, because we all know theft, we all know damage. And I've even seen people that have, auto insurance, regular personal auto. You go to Geico and get your personal auto, and they have a hammerhead on the back of the truck. It gets smashed. It's not covered.
I was going to ask you about that. I was just thinking about that. That's something that we run into commonly. We know insurance companies don't like to cover either a hammerhead, a riptide, any of those self-contained vacuums on the back of a truck getting covered if you get smacked in the rear end. So you're saying that this policy that you have, that will cover them.
Any policies, there's many things like that. You got to make sure that you're covered. And how many people do you see if they work at Publix? How many people that drive the Publix to go to work every day? How many of those have a hammerhead on the truck? None of them. Or a pull vacuum? They don't. That's what residential auto. If you're driving to work every day, you don't drive around with pool chemicals in the back of your truck. So there's different stuff in there. So the residential is not really going to cover that. Will it cover you in an auto accident? Yes.
That's fantastic. That's
now it'll cover the damage.
So let me ask you this as well then, because being that you're covering this insurance, one of the big things that we look at, and a lot of folks don't even know that this exists, but when we take the water out of a pool, if we are not really up on our groundwater tables and, maybe we don't have an idea of well points, and of course in certain states you have to be a licensed contractor to do so, but those can pop up out of the ground. So talk to me a little bit about that and what folks should have.
Yeah, what pool pop insurance is that you can have general liability insurance. Now that's just general liability. There's other things that you can cover on there. Pool pop insurance is for the artisan contractors. That it's like it's another type of policy that we can add on there. It's so what happens is like plumbers, they're actually really high because they're dealing with water and water damage all the time. Roofers are higher. There's different special risks. So we can do general liability for contractors, but what are you actually doing? That's only going to cover like doing work on the job. So depending on the type of risk that you're going to cover, that's what covers your premium. How many people are filing a claim? So with pool pop insurance, that's different. Your general liability insurance is not going to cover pool pop unless you list it. Your general liability insurance, you can add like with a BOP or any other insurance, you can add builder's risk insurance. So builder's risk insurance is, hey, you're a pool builder. You go put this fancy $20 a square foot, glass tile on the job site and it walks away. Who's going to pay? Your general liability is not going to cover it. Your builder's risk will cover it. How much is builder's risk insurance? It may only be a couple $100 a year because you got the general liability and the builder's risk together with the same carrier. So we can, keep the price down.
That's awesome. Anytime that you can, and a lot of folks have a lot of different questions about a lot of different things. The other thing is a lot of folks don't know what they need. So when you call your regular insurance broker where you get your business insurance from, they don't know about insurance that's necessary to cover pop-up, or the different intricacies.
Types of coverages and stuff like that. Yeah. You have to be licensed. I'm a licensed 220 agent. You got to go through a 200-hour course. Pass that exam, pass the state exam. It's pretty rigid case of that. And you have to be an expert in this, and they really beat it in your head. And we deal with this every single day. I have Tom Reed who works with me. He's been in the business over 30 years. He's an expert, man. Him and I working together, we can get coverage in an hour. It's very some of the reasons why we can't get coverage in an hour is that if you have 5 drivers, we need all the driver's license, and we need to wait for that report to come back on their driving record. So they run that report to see where it is. So
Okay.
there's a lot of guys that we've been saving money on. If they have a fleet of vehicles, you got 15 vehicles. We save one person over in Tampa like right around $10,000 a year in auto insurance. It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. That's you know what? That's a new used truck. That's a part-time employee for the
10
season.
grand's 10 grand. You know what I mean? So
That's yeah, that's a whole lot of something. So, or it's a boat, the beginnings of a boat.
yeah, but we just want to make sure they have things. The other thing is like workers' comp is that workers' comp is always the highest level of insurance. So if you have an employee in your vehicle driving down the street and he gets into an auto accident, he breaks his arm or something, or gets a concussion or something, workers' comp covers that, not your auto. Workers' comp covers everything in there.
And can they get, they can get workers' comp through you?
Yeah, we can do workers' comp. We can do payroll services for you. We can do the payroll for you. Just like if you're using 80 ADP or some of these payroll companies, we could probably save you 20-30% on the fees they charge.
Now let me ask you this question, because this is something that folks run into, and it may be more of a Florida thing than outside Florida, but it may pertain outside Florida as well. I'm not, in those areas to that same extent, but I wanted to ask a question specifically about the workers' comp, because a lot of times you'll see that folks go, or they're required to get workers' comp insurance even if they don't do construction. They need it to take on a job, maybe for a commercial facility. They want to see proof of this, right? So you can contact the state to get a waiver of
Great.
of workman's comp.
You can be workers' comp exempt. Yeah. Here's the thing: is that let's say I'm workers' comp exempt, and I go to Rudy's house to clean Rudy's pool. I get struck by lightning. And I have a heart attack and I die on Rudy's property cleaning this.
You know what? That figures.
Yep. That's why I try to stay away from you, Rudy. I don't get struck. I don't want us both to get struck by lightning.
You show up at Rudy's house, you get hit by lightning and die. Okay. But all right, go on with that.
Rudy has to pay my workers' comp, my $50,000 life death insurance, as well as my up to $7,500 in funeral costs, because Rudy hired someone to do work, and I'm an employee, and I'm working for you. I'm not an employee. I'm actually a contractor working for you that's workers' comp exempt. So you have to cover all my death benefits.
And that's a perfectly viable. Are you finding that, let's say somebody, well, aside from Rudy not letting you on his property anymore after hearing this, Rob, you specifically, but if they're so somebody's going out there, they're pursuing commercial properties, they want to get into that end of the business, and they run into a place and they're requiring workman's comp. You get the workman's comp exemption. Is that welcomed by these facilities, or is that a headache?
Some of them yes, some of them no. Some don't understand insurance, where I won't let anybody, any contractors work. Like the people that clean my office here, they have workers' comp, or they can't come on here because it's just I'm covered. Let's say I'm a pool builder, and I'm hiring a subcontractor that's a plumber to come out and do work on it. He's a one-man operation. He's workers' comp exempt. He gets struck by lightning and he dies. Me as the contractor, I hired him. I have to pay his death benefits and his up to $7,500 in funeral cost. Now what happens is, if that doesn't happen, it's insurance fraud, because I'm supposed to have that. I could actually have on my policy that I can cover the workers' comp exemption, and they're okay. But if I don't have it, that's the problem they have. And most commercial properties will allow you or won't allow you. There's many ways to get the workers' comp. We can write you a straight up policy. Or what people do is through the employee leasing, we can write you something so that you can pay as you go. So depending on how many, you get paid a percentage of your wages depending on the classification of the employee, how much it goes up to cover that. But I don't want to
no matter what somebody needs, let's say there's a new guy coming into the industry, has no clue what he needs as far as insurance, which is not uncommon. I mean, you started out once, I started out once. There's a learning curve there. You can be a partner in the industry that helps them to skip that learning curve. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I'll explain everything that they need. And look, because I have a family of businesses, I know that I'm going to make money with you sometimes, and you're going to pay for insurance somewhere. Why not pay it with me, where I can help you, give you some advice, and see the whole big picture? I'm probably the only insurance agent in the state of Florida that can see the big picture, because I've cleaned pools before. I've built swimming pools. I've had employees. I've had, dozens of employees. I know everything that needs to, they're going to make sure you're covered for. The biggest problem is like, you see these other agencies, they don't know, it can't be. It's impossible. That's why I'm not trying to sell you personal auto or homeowners insurance, because it's just a liability to me. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to be, I'm not your guy for that.
Let me ask you about that though, because you did say, in Florida. So right now, I know this is a new venture for you. This is fairly new. You've been, you're more well known for other things, but are you planning and extending these offerings to other states in maybe the, Southeast Georgia?
Yeah, we're licensed in several states already.
Oh, okay.
Most of we're in Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, California. Some of the things that we can do for you.
Okay, so you're bigger than I am.
We can grow very quickly, and like I said, Tom was doing this for many years before that, and I opened this agency about 2 years ago, and I haven't pushed it too much, but I'm just trying to do my best to make sure everybody knows about it, and we can help you out, because we can see you from. The big thing we can do is I didn't get to talk about the contractor school, which is the big business that we have here, is that you want to buy a route, you can buy it from me. I can get you the insurance, CPO courses, get you licensed, workers' comp, payroll, general liability. And then when you're ready to retire, we can sell the business and get the next guy. A lot of people like to buy from me, buy routes from me, because they don't want to buy from anybody else, because they have everything in a box from start to finish. I can get everything they need. I can form their corporation for them. Soon we're going to be offering tax services. We'll do the taxes for you and stuff like that. We'll have an accountant that's going to be a separate company, going to be coming in and working out of our offices here in the Coconut Creek headquarters.
So this is you haven't talked a lot on this, and you have about 10 minutes left. So I just wanted to bring up the fact now, you're more well known for teaching classes, specifically as contractors, licensing assistants. I know you teach the CPOs as well as I do, and some other folks in the group. Yeah. You'd said before, but can you and you have a new face on your team, and I know this because we joked about this the other day, but I owe you money. Then
I'm not taking your money. Your money's no good here.
But you do have a new face on your team.
Yeah,
so
I got Terrence working with me.
If you wanted to talk, there you go.
With both of us working, doing the CPO and doing the licensing courses, I brought him in from New York, relocated him here, and he's helping me take over some of the CPO courses that we're doing. And with the experience he has and stuff like that, we'll get him his contractor's license. And once all his experience is fulfilled and stuff like that, and we'll be able to help me out teaching some of the pool classes and the CPO classes and stuff like that. So we'll be having a little bit better schedule on that, a little more convenient during the week and stuff like that, because we really don't like working weekends. We'll let the other people do the weekend classes, but the people during the week, makes it.
I'm not a fan either, but but let me ask you this now, because there is something, that makes you even more unique with the classes you teach, whether it's CPO, contractors, or whatever. But you have your own classroom, don't you?
Yeah, we have about a 5,000 square foot facility here where we do all the fulfillment for all the shipping. People don't understand how big of a company we are. We get the insurance arm, and we have like contractor book rentals, where we have an Amazon store there where we may sell a decent amount of books every day on a weekly and annual basis. We actually sell, since we buy in such bulk, we actually supply some of the other schools, some of our contractor schools with books, because of the volume that we buy in, pallets and pallets of books. We publish some of our own books as well for the contractor school. So we kind of help everybody out with that. But that's our big dollar business that we do. We try to help people out with that.
So at what point would you recommend somebody get a hold of you? So you have the new person coming into the industry. You also have folks who have been out there cleaning pools for a long while. Is it just at that point when they decide, hey, you know what, I want to do repairs also, or should they contact you as part of their initial research and starting a company? I mean, what person do you want to come in and say, hey, Rob, help me out?
Well, the thing is that it's the whole, if you want to get into the business, I'll talk to you. If you've been in the business 40 years, more experience than me, there's something I could offer you. I can help you out with the insurance. I can help you sell the business. You never want to represent yourself. You don't want to sell your own business. You don't want to do other different things.
So you don't want to do what I did. I sold my own business. So you probably, I mean, and I did okay. I'm not going to lie, but you, no doubt, had I contacted you, I'd probably had a little bit more in the bank.
Yeah, I think that's, and even look, I've sold, I've started many businesses and sold them. I think with the insurance by Rob, I think that's the 8th business that I've started from scratch to do gross $1 million in sales. So we only have basically 3 businesses that we operate now. So the other 5 gone by the way, and I sold them other ones and stuff like that. I was the founder and created One Exam Prep, which was the largest contracting school in Florida, 2nd largest in the United States, and I sold that to a public company in January of 2017. It was a.
You're not talking about just selling routes. You're talking about the whole thing: trucks,
Businesses,
equipment, employees,
buildings. Like I've helped some wholesale supply companies, some distributors. They want to grow their business. They've contacted me, and I did the market research and found out where they need to open a location. I brokered the deal under great terms for them to open up locations. I've opened up leases for other locations for other pool companies, pool builders, for pool service companies, for distributors. You know what I mean? Some of the big name people have come to me, and we found a place for them. We negotiated a deal for them, and got them great terms. You know what I mean? 6 months.
Let me ask you, I have a question, because this was a big concern to me when I sold mine. And I know and a lot of folks listening know that I sold my business because I was having some mobility issues. I couldn't get around. And you walk a lot when you're doing pool service. I think I tracked it a few times, and I'm not talking a mile or 2 a day doing pool service. Over 10 miles a day you're walking. So when I was selling my company, one of the biggest concerns I had, because I did have employees, was that they go with the company, that they become part of that family, and that they are that they're able to maintain their jobs. I didn't want people that worked for me to become unemployed because I made the sale. So how can you help the seller be more at ease with the fact that their employees are still going to have a job? I think that might be something that discourages people from selling, because as I do, this starts to feel like a family, and you want to make sure they can still earn an income. So what would you tell us? What would you tell the seller, or what would you do with the buyer? What scenario would this be?
We always tell everybody that we don't want to lose the customers first. They're the most valuable things. You know what I mean? You can't lose all the business and stuff like that. Then we got the pool techs, which is probably even more valuable than, especially this day and age, or the pool techs are more valuable than the customers, really, because if you don't have pool techs, you don't have any customers. So we kind of put everybody at ease and tell them, hey, you have a job forever. The guy is buying the business. He doesn't want to go out there and clean 300 pools or 80 pools or whatever it is by himself. He wants to grow. All the buyers want to come in and buy this and grow it to this. You know what I mean? So we tell them to a lot of things. They tell them, hey, when you buy a business, don't walk in the first week and tell all the customers, I just bought the business from Terrence. I'm the new boss. I'm the new sheriff in town. You'll lose half your business. I've seen people lose 75% of the business because of that. Doesn't happen. All the people I talk to is this. You come in and say, yep, I'm Terrence's partner, and Terrence is handling all the pools north of wherever, which doesn't cover his route, and I'm covering everything south. You can still call him, but I'll be handling everybody here if you need to. If you want to go above me, you can go to him, but I'll handle all your problems.
So then Terrence is going to have to be on board with this as well, as part of ensuring that there's a smooth transition process.
He wants his escrow money. He wants to help. He wants to get all his money, make sure it's great. He doesn't want a lawsuit. He doesn't want anyone to fight and go to court. Nobody wins that way. I mean, we kind of help people with that.
Okay, so now with that, I mean, are you still there?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah. With that, is there a certain time frame before he gets? I mean, does he get all his money up front for selling, or is there a little bit that you keep in the back?
Whatever the buyer and seller negotiate is what the buyer and seller get.
And you serve as a moderator for that negotiation?
Whatever. I don't price fix. That's against the law. I don't tell people you have to hold this and that. Escrow, whatever they want to do, they control the price. They control the amount of deal. It's illegal for someone to say, it's illegal for the broker to tell you how to do the business. It's Sherman antitrust, like it's price fixing. The buyer and seller, everything's negotiable. This is
But you serve, but aside from that, I mean, not getting involved in the illegal part of it, but I mean, you do serve as a moderator between the two. Yes. And helping them come to a negotiation.
I've had deals where they come in and give all the money up front and take over the business the next day. I've had people do financing for 6 months, whatever they want to work out, they work out. People finance for a year, whatever they want to do, seller financing, SBA financing. There's a whole bunch of different ways that we can, that they can do that kind of stuff. So.
Okay. So we got a couple of minutes left, Rob. Terrence, I see you sitting there still, which kind of surprised me because I thought you were in New York, and then all of a sudden you were down in Florida proctoring one of my students, which was really cool. But is there anything that you want to leave everybody with in these last couple of minutes that you have to chat with folks?
The only thing is like with the pool licensing. A lot of people don't understand the deals with pool licensing in Florida. So what I want to talk about is my other company, which is the Exam Pros. We get people, once you get through the CPO, you want to be a licensed contractor. You can get a county license or a state license. There's basically 3 different levels of licensing. We have the service, swimming pool and spa servicing license. This allows you to service, repair, and renovate commercial and residential pools. That's the lowest level license. The next one above that is the residential pool contractor. That allows me to build new residential pools and spas, as well as service repair. Then the highest is the commercial pool contractor. I can build commercial pools, residential pools, and do everything else. That's the license that I have, the state certified commercial pool contractor. So to do that, you need to pass 2 exams, a business and finance and a trade exam. Depending on how this is put out there, it's kind of a hard exam. But once you get shown the process on how to pass the exam, it's pretty easy, because you have to remember in the CPO class, as you know, us as the instructors, we are the referees. We can't tell you how to do this, and that we can only teach you. With the licensing courses, I'm your head coach and trainer. I'm going to give you everything that I know to get you to, I'm going to warn you about this, warn you about that, tell you everything you need to be aware of. Just the simple questions that they want to give you. Which questions to skip, the math questions or these types of questions about digging the hole, the swell factor. We have all these different things about that. So we offer a special deal, which is me giving back to the pool guys for $17.50 for a state license. All the books, all the courses, pre-printed tabs, everything you need to pass the state exam for pool contractor, for pool service, pool and spa servicing contractor. If you want to get
that is absolutely awesome, Rob, and I definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing that with everybody today, introducing Terrence, of course. Terrence, wave, we can see you, so say hello. All right.
How you doing, guys?
And if you want to get a hold of Rob, just one thing really quick, because we got Sean waiting to come up now. And Sean, I don't want to butcher your last name. I'm sure it probably sounds the same way that it's spelled, but I'm going to let you do that for us. So, but, I'm one to talk. But in either case, Rob, how do people get a hold of you? Really quick.
You can go call me here at 954-908-7010. That's the main office number to the school. And then through there, you can get your call diverted to the insurance, to me directly, or to anybody with the pool route. So,
all right. Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Terrence.